Hello, everyone. FiFi and Sam for another midweek musings. I hope you're all doing well. And how are you, my lovely? Handing it straight over to you.
Yeah, this is always the time I find most difficult because I don't want to go on and on and on about like how shit everything is. Like that's just depressing.
Feel
But
free.
yeah, I'm very much in a kind of survival space, living moment to moment, trying to kind of life is very challenging at the moment. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things to get sort of used to, and yeah, new challenges I've not had to deal with before, and um yeah, I do find myself doing a lot of mindfulness and a lot of just trying to kind of be in the moment and try and carve out some moments that are better than others, really. And I'm very lucky. I've got some lovely friends who are sort of helping me through it. Shout out to anyone who watched it. Love you. But yeah, I don't know where I'd be without people like you and the lovely people in my tribe that I've found sort of over the last few years. They're sort of angels at the moment. But yeah, I'm seeing it through. I am yeah,
Good
just trying
girl.
to keep going. How about you? How are you doing?
Oh, wow. At this given moment, because you never know, do you? Never seems to be really consistent, but not too bad. I'm feeling quite pleased today because, as I said earlier, I've managed to get up at a reasonable hour. I've been having terrible problems sleeping for quite a while now. Getting off to sleep, no problem at pretty much any time. Like I choose to go to bed. It could be like 9 o'clock, it could be like 11 or 12, and I'm gone. That's not the issue. It's the waking up throughout the
Yeah,
night, which has just plagued me for so long now. But I kind of set this intention that I was focusing on, getting up early, feeling energized, or if not energized, at least alive. Um, so I could start getting my mornings off to a good start, my days off to a good start, instead of that foggy kind of stagger out of bed because it's late or feels late for me. I'm sort of straight into the day, and there's no kind of that mindfulness that you talk about. So yeah, I've actually managed it the last few days. I've actually managed to be up before 7, which is quite an achievement of late.
that is
And
impressive.
well, I mean, the thing is, I always was an early bird, but I don't know. The last few years, it's just gone along with a lot of other things. And I've just found myself shattered. Like the alarm goes off, and I'm like, there's not a chance I can get up. Just and be not being in a job where it's like, right, you've got to be up at this time and you're out the door and blah blah. You haven't got that sort of kick up the backside. But yeah, so this morning managed to do a bit of meditation, got the dog out for a nice early walk. And I just love morning, like early morning. I don't love the getting up bit, but once I'm up, when you've got that kind of quiet period, haven't you? When people are still in bed, it's everything hasn't started yet. Um, and it's got this different kind of feeling to it. And yeah, I just really noticed what a difference it makes to get yourself kind of grounded and have these little kind of rituals in place where I'm out with the dog and like you can hear the birds singing, and even though the weather's a bit crap here at the moment, it's just being out in nature and saying my affirmations and intentions for the day, and it just puts a completely different shine on things. Keeping it going throughout the day is the challenge, but it's a lot easier if you kind of started off on that foot, because the energy, as we know, is just it's not only heavy and dense and dark, it's chaos, isn't it? it's that chaotic, frenetic energy everywhere.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and a lot of just bombardment.
Yeah,
I think is the
it's
word.
revving up like we said it would. There's never going to be a point while this is all going on, while they're desperately pushing ahead with these agendas, and trying to keep us down. There's not going to be a point where it ceases, where it's lets up. It's just going to keep going and going and going and going, and we're feeling it. I mean, it's literally bang, 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 faster and faster, ever faster. And we were kind of chatting about this morning, weren't we? Off air. We have a little cup
Off
of
air. That
tea.
sounds so like.
I know. Off air chats, pre-recording. Yeah, our little catch up, and we're just saying about this. For me, as everyone will know, I've said I've had this real social media, all of that stuff. I had a detox, obviously, which turned into a month. It was supposed to be like a week, maybe two, and then it was like, I just can't face it. Like, I felt this physical aversion, and that carried on for quite a few weeks, and now I'm sort of tentatively dipping my toe in, but I'm very much not doing what I was before, sort of looking through all the channels and seeing the madness unfolding out there, because I don't need to, actually. I know what's going. I don't need to know every little, well, not little actually, bloody huge some of them, but every event that's happening, because it's all part of the same thing. And it is that energy, isn't it? That chaotic. Look here, look there, look. Oh my God, this. It's going to take you completely away from that center, any sense of centeredness, or any kind of clarity of thought or even feeling. It's just all caught up in this spiral. It's the information overload gone into overdrive.
Yeah, I'm finding I haven't got the energy to kind of
No,
keep up with. I mean, to some extent, you can't really escape it.
no.
Um, it comes up in conversations, and even if you're not kind of on social media, which I'm not a lot lately. I just had my brain is just
Mm,
like so I'm not sort of on there a lot. But even without that, people are still talking about it, and you
yeah,
can't sort of escape. Oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and we were both talking. Our sort of attitude at the moment is a little bit like just let them do whatever they want to do, let them try whatever they want to try. We know where we stand, and we'll stand firm, and
yeah,
that's kind of it, really. It's getting into a frenzy and sort of worrying, or having fear around what may or may not happen over the winter is to me, especially as I'm dealing with so much, it's kind of pointless to add that
yeah,
on top.
yeah,
What can I do to stop them from doing it? If they're going to try and do it, they're going to try and do it. All I know is that if they try and do that, I won't comply. Like, come
yeah,
on, mate. Like, just
exactly.
that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just
Same.
I don't have the energy to take on.
No, it's and the
Uh,
feeding of. But I'm going to read this out, which very much is in alignment with, with how I feel generally about this stuff anyway. But it's Daniel Zeck who put some really good stuff out there, and he says, "Don't you see? They want you glued to the reality they're trying to create. They don't care if you're awake to what's going on or not, as long as you continually focus on them. They know that your mind's co-creative capacity will bring about more of their reality when you focus on it and feel intense feelings associated with it. And you'll be incapacitated, frozen, unable to focus on creating the reality that you want to create. And you know, that's what it is. It's bless you.
All right.
Isn't tight. It's not about ignoring, like you said, you can't anyway, even if you wanted to. There's people talking, it's like this all like osmosis as well. It's like, how do I still know so much of what's going on when I'm not actively seeking it, I'm not conversing about it, but you just do, don't you? It gets in there somehow. So it's certainly not about ignoring it or trying to pretend that it's not going on, but it's absolutely true. And I was saying this to you, and this was before I found that quote actually, that they don't care. They don't care if you're awake to, I mean, I guess there's they don't want too many people knowing, but the fact is, if you are wholly focused, or you know, the majority of your focus is on all of this constant drama, all the dreadful things playing out, what might be happening, what has happened, blah blah blah, they don't care whether you're, oh my god, isn't it terrible, MSM brainwashed sheep, you know, or you're awake and you're, oh my god, isn't it terrible, I know exactly what's behind all of this. It's the reaction, and it is that focus. It's, we have to be so careful to
Not feed the
feed.
beast.
That's the thing, and it is walking that line, because there's nothing wrong with informing yourself or knowing what's going on, but if that's not balanced with, okay, what is it that we do want, if that outrage and anger and, you know, all of the intense feelings that he's talking about in that quote, if they're not then balanced out with the feelings of empowerment, the love, the, you know, the joy, all, then they don't care. If they've got you hooked, they don't care whether you know what they're all about or not, because if you're in fear, you're in fear, and it don't matter whether you're fully awake to the agenda and everything that they want for us, or you're fast asleep but in fear. Fear is fear, and that's what they want. So there's nothing wrong with talking about this stuff, you know, putting it out there, but what's going on internally, and this is where I'm kind of at with the whole stepping back from social media, very much questioning what's my role, or what do I want my role, if any, to be in this whole sort of thing, because it's very easy to just click share, 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 share all the bad news, all the, oh my god, look what's happening now, which if we knew that everyone was responding to it with a, oh god, yeah, but we're, you know, we're going to greet this with transformation and transmutation, we're not going to let it bring us down, this just strengthens our vision for the future that we want to create, great. But I know in the vast majority of cases it's not, it's just perpetuating that cycle of fear. And we've seen it, we've talked about this, we've never been about getting the most views, and we're never going to with what we're saying. Because you can see the people that get the most hits, the most likes, you know, all of the most shares, they're basically ranting about the situation, a running commentary of what's going on, what we need to be doing, what we should be doing. That's not to run down anybody and what they're putting out there, but it's inescapable. You can see that the more negatively focused and outraged a post is or a video, or the bigger the response, which just, it's like a barometer of where we're at. And unfortunately, we are drama addicted. That we've been
Yes.
conditioned as human beings. Look at our entertainment. This is supposed to be something to do in your winding down time or free time, and it's this adrenaline pushing,
Yeah.
disaster, murder, everything under the sun that's guaranteed to get you frenzied. Excuse me. It's all there, and we get this kind of kick from it, and that's what people are responding to constantly. And I'm at the point where I don't want to be playing a part in that.
Yeah.
Oh, tickle.
Yeah, I think with as with everything, and it's probably like a like buzzword or something, but like balance is key. I mean, this evening I'm going out with our outreach team and we're going to do some yellow boards around our local roundabout, and I'm really excited about it. I love doing it. And I think it's great that people are still doing that. But again, it's very much, it is, I think, about planting seeds, and I don't think it's going to change the world, but it's certainly, when you've got lots of people, it's important that the truth gets out there. But again,
Yeah.
it's the energy and the intention behind sort of why you're doing that and what you're doing and
Yeah.
what space, like energetic field, you're in when you're doing that, I think.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
as I said, I'm sort of in a very much similar place to you, and it's not, I mentally cannot take on, but it doesn't mean I won't have conversations. It doesn't mean that I won't sort of get involved with trying to sort of, you bring about a bit of awareness. And for me, that's what it's about. A lot of people are very unaware of what's happening, and I think everyone I speak to, that once they're aware of what's happening, they go, and then they too want to try and do something. I've had, oh my god, in really good news, I've had so many conversations over the last couple of weeks with people who have been completely oblivious to many of the facts surrounding what's happened over the last 3 years, and are actually now finally coming to a point of, I actually completely see where you're coming from. I've just read this and I've just seen this, and they're going, I can't believe it. You were
Yeah.
right all along. And there is a lot of like, yay, finally. And
It's
yeah, a lot of conversation when I go out. Whenever I'm in a shop and they're like cash or card, I obviously always pay cash, and I always sort of, give a little sentence or two about, why I'm paying cash. And I get so many really positive comments, and
yeah.
a lot of people in shops are saying that more and more people are paying cash, that there does seem to be this
Well, did
awareness around what's going on there. And I find that actually really kind of positive. And I
Yeah,
just
well, there's
think,
been the bank was it's the Bank of England, wasn't it? The CEO of the Bank of England has there was the big petition delivered to 11 Downing Street, which was the keep cash, kind of a lot of signatures, a few 100,000, 300,000, I think. And the next day, I think it was, there's been this like kind of affirming that yeah, there will be cash machines within
yes, I
however
saw
many
about
miles.
that.
Did you see that? Basically, no, cash isn't going to be
Yeah, and
taken out of
I did find
circulation.
myself a little bit like, well, that's very odd.
Well, it just shows that we can't be ignored then when there are great numbers of people. Now, that's not to say that they're still not fully intending to keep this going, where there is this digital currency society, cashless society. I think that's still very much in their sights, but it puts a little blockade in the road. It slows it right down when people do get their voices out there en masse. So when I talk about the not feeding the system and so on and so forth, I'm kind of referring to us. Like there's very much an echo chamber thing that can go on. People that are absolutely clueless, they need a bit of a short, sharp shock to wake them up and get them aware of what's happening. But once you are, that's the thing. It's like, okay, where do we go from? We're 3 years into just this, you know, forget like how long this has actually been going on for, and how long, you know, a lot of us have been aware of all of these the nefarious agendas. But it's very easy to get stuck in that loop. Like I said, these are groups that normies aren't going to belong to on Telegram, if they're on Telegram at all. It's not that you're alerting people who have got no idea. I'm talking about people that really do get this, but are caught in that cycle of, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, because there are a lot of people who are awake to all of this, who are in absolute fear the whole time, and they are completely focused on all the terrible things that are happening or might happen. We've got to start stepping out of that. You know, if we want to be creating this future, this beautiful world that is absolutely entirely possible, in fact it already exists, just sort of over there, there's got to be that coming back to yourself, where you're not just this sounding board for everything that's being beamed at you, everything that's going on out there. You've got to have those quiet moments, hence my, you know, desperation to have my mornings back again, where I can just get an inkling again of, oh, there's more, there's so much more to life, there's so much more going on here. I am so much more than these reactions to stimulus. You know, you're not going to hear that or get in touch with that if you are just totally focused on the outer world and there's no connection to the inner world. And that's where they want us, totally disconnected, and bringing it back to, they don't care whether you're awake to what their intentions are or not, as long as you're focused as much as possible on what they're doing, because that is what creates it. But when you take that control back, like, yeah, I see what they're doing, I understand what's going on here, but I choose to, you know, take it in, internalize, see your responses and work through it, you know, however that is, and you transform and transmute, and your ultimate focus is for this beautiful new world that we all want to get to see in our lifetimes. We have to start understanding how this all works in this weird, crazy place that we find ourselves in. I mean, that alone, just, what is this? What the hell? We've got no idea. Our history's completely wiped, rewritten. Like, there is so much that it begs the question, like, what we need to be investigating. Oh, I shouldn't say we need, you know, because that's a game. We need, but you know, there's this whole other much bigger aspect going on here that they very much don't want us to be investing any time or energy in, because it opens you up when you start thinking, what? That so all of the history that we've been told is a lot, and you start going down some crazy rabbit holes. You know, there's some mad thing. You're like, that can't be, it can't be real. But you know, and they're not all desperately depressing. You know, a lot of this stuff is, but a lot of this other, it's so oh my God, wow, out there. And you start to realize that this sort of existence is so much more magical and weird and incredible and huge. You know, everything's so big, but we're being filtered down. That's what's happening. That's what's in the news. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you're awake or you're not. It's where your focus is, what your feeling is. And like you say, where's the balance? How do you find the balance? Which is where we currently find ourselves once again. Seems to be a bit deeper every time though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd certainly say at the moment I'm very much in a, because of my circumstances and what's kind of going on in my life. I'm in this process of trying to sort of really kind of find myself
Yeah.
and sort of find my way through something that I've never had to do before, and sort of re carve out a sort of life for myself. And it does sort of pose the question of what do I want my life to be now. I have an opportunity, sort of difficult as circumstances are, it is still very much trying to see it as an opportunity to be able to kind of start building a life that, you know, I really do want to live. Um, and it's on a a very personal level, but at the same time it ties in,
Mm.
collectively
Yeah.
to what world do I want to live in, what do I want to do in my life, how do I want to live it, do I want to live it in a place where I'm constantly terrified of what I'm being bombarded with and what agendas are going on, or do I want to have an awareness of that but actually focus on what I can do on a personal level or a collective level and an energetic level as to how can I make things better.
Mm.
And yeah, that's sort of where I am, very much I'm trying to find the joy.
Yeah. Well, that's all we can do. And it is there. It is
It
there.
is,
It's
it is.
just you have to go looking for it. And then
Sometimes
it
with like
stumbles
a
across you.
magnifying glass.
It's there somewhere, god damn it. Where are you? But yeah, it's like anything. What you focus on, you start seeing it everywhere. And that works either, for good or bad. Um, we get to choose. We do get to choose. And I think that's what we're kind of at that critical point of making these choices. um yeah, what is it? We're here for such a short time as well. I was thinking like this could potentially go on way past our lifetimes. um and so, how do we want it to be? While we're talking about, oh wow, that's it, sod it, I'm just going to be a rampant hedonist, and just do what. No, that's
I
not
mean, that's
not
an
for
option.
me. It sounds tempting, doesn't it? But it just doesn't seem to, be a path that I can follow. It's not for me. But there has got to be. We're being we've been trained to just kind of experience life it's become more and more and more monotonous and mundane and narrow, and to completely lose sight of, you know if you can remember when you were a young child, um how magical everything was. I can
Yeah.
vividly remember just how I experience the world, and there was so much potential, and there was no real limit on your dream because it hadn't been beaten into you yet that no, that's not realistic, or you were kind of free. And then that gradual whittling down of our spirits, really, the spirit is still in us, we're still that little child. It's just it's been obscured. That world does still exist. But again, it's if you don't focus, and when the energy is this harsh, it is this dense and dark and low, you do have to make the effort, because you don't even realize that you're just, a lot of the time you get used to it, just being this kind of quite lethargic. It's all a bit of a struggle, and it's like you're just not open. You've got blinkers on without realizing it. So it is an effort to make, like this morning I was like, just the idea of meditating, which is literally just sitting there. Oh God, you can feel the fight, because there's still an effort involved. But when you can overcome that, and yeah, it's the same with like choosing to see the beauty in the world, which I was doing this morning on my little dog walk. Nothing outstanding. I'm not in some incredible place, with mountains or the sea, or just a little park. But it's like you start seeing through new eyes, and I'm just suddenly noticing things, and it tends to be nature, that this sort of happens with me. And then it's like you get into this flow, and there's no effort then. It's just coming and coming, and you can feel yourself starting to come alive again. But it is very much an effort, and I do think it's quite important to focus some energy on that, on yourself, because we all have a huge impact. We're part of the collective. Nobody can't have a big impact on everything, and it's just important, I think, for anyone who's sort of feeling the same way. It is vibration. It is, when we're unable to see the new and the beautiful and have that incredible vision, if we're constantly down here. It does take an effort and this is why they're doing it. This is what they're doing, keeping us
That
down,
is the
because
bottom
they
line.
know.
It is the bottom line. So actually, yeah, the best thing we can do is to try and find the joy.
Do the absolute opposite of what they want. That's your answer. And it might be like, oh my God, how on earth do I do that? How do I do it?
Oh
Because
yeah. Oh yeah.
but when you know that they want you in fear, they want you focused on every little thing they're doing, and getting caught up in all the details and all the, oh, look, and that I found this and that. I'm not saying there's not a place for it, but again, it's that balance. It's, well, what's fueling this? Is there a purpose to any of that? Just do the opposite. They do not want you in joy. They do not want you happy. Apparently now, if you're too happy, your heart's gonna give out on you. Did you see that one? I mean,
No, I haven't seen that one.
I mean, I think, to be honest, at the moment, the chances of people feeling so happy they have a heart attack are fairly slim. I wouldn't be too worried about that anyway. But oh God, honestly. But yeah, don't be happy, don't be joyful, don't be positive, don't be hopeful, don't be anything good, or of a high vibration. That's what they want. So when people go, oh, well, it's frivolous to be enjoying yourself when all this is going on, you have just walked straight into their hands. They've got you right
Indeed.
there. There is nothing noble, actually, about suffering, bringing yourself down. This doesn't mean that you don't have compassion, you don't have empathy, not at all. But there is nothing noble in bringing yourself down to meet the lower energies, the suffering, and the horrors, and really intensely feeling, because there's only hope and despair there. It doesn't mean that you don't have empathy and you don't feel for those who are suffering. There are horrendous things going on, but it's guaranteed to paralyze you. We've got to, this is the thing, we've got to, because this is why they're doing it all, because we are so linked. Of course, oh my God, but if you stay in that place, they've got you. No matter what they do to us, we've got to just, in spite of them, carry on and keep doing the absolute opposite of what they want.
Yep. Mission for the collective: find a way to feel the joy every day. I
And to
think
build it and
I do
build
think it's
it.
the way is to, yeah,
What's
just
the
try and
point
find a
in
way to
being
smile.
here? Otherwise, my God, we're infinite consciousness having this experience. You know, you're not going to end when this life ends anyway. It's going to go on and on and on in all kinds of like ways that we can't even fathom while
Okay,
we're
let's
we're
just deal with this one for
concentrated
now.
here. But well, yeah. So yeah, you know, like what? Just go for it, and don't keep buying into their fear porn. It's a trap. It's a trap. So anytime you find yourself sort of sharing and spreading things through fear, you're coming from a place of fear and outrage, and just take a breather a moment. I would say that's where I'm at. I'm just like, actually, what, you know, not wanting to pretend things aren't happening, but do I really need to be, you know, the 25 millionth person to share this same thing amongst the same people? So maybe that, you know, sharing the knowledge, the things like you say with the boards of people like haven't had a clue, is a very different thing. It's sowing those seeds and then they're going on their journeys. And you know, I think it would be nice to have, once you're on that journey, is to start seeing those, the more empowering messaging, like, yes, all this shit is happening, here's what we do, here's how we handle it, here's, you know, and it won't necessarily be like physically, right, we've got to go, that will come into it, but a lot of it is like, oh, okay, so where am I with this? Where's my vibration at?
We are running out of time.
We are. I don't know how we do
Uh-uh.
it, because we're always like, oh, I don't know what we're going to talk about, and then it's like, oh, we just
We can just babble on forever. It's probably a good job we've actually got, you know, like a limit on how long we can talk about. So let's just go all day. All the
3
pants off
days
people.
later.
Yeah. They're still going. Yeah, we do seem to do that, don't we? But well, hopefully there's been some benefit to our random ramblings and
We can
musings.
only hope.
Hopefully yeah, got something from it. But yeah, that is us. I think
Us.
we should wish everybody smiles and joyful moments.
Yes, many of them. And yeah, we'll catch up soon.
Encouragement to keep going. Oh boy.
So sending lots of
Comments.
love.
Lots and
And
lots of love.
yeah. See you soon.